Hi, I'm John McElroy. Welcome to Creating a Business Case. In this movie series, we'll look at creating a business case from the perspective of the project manager. In the introduction, I want to do four things. I want to start by defining a business case, coming up with a working definition we can use throughout this entire movie series. Number two, I want to take a look at discretionary versus mandatory projects. We do take a slightly different approach to the business case for each one. Number three, I want to put forward a framework we can use, something that we can use to build and create our business case. And I want to touch on the key success factors. These are elements that need to go into every single business case that we develop. Let's start with that working definition. What do we mean by a business case? Here's sort of a 5-point definition that works for me. I think of a business case as an analytical tool that we use for making decisions on future actions that require an investment of money, time, resources, and people. I mean, it's pretty simple, but that encompasses most of what a business case is all about. And if your organization is facing a situation where they need analysis to support a decision on a future action requiring an investment of money, time, and resources, the chances are really good they'll ask you to create a business case to justify that investment decision. So business case and investment decision are very tightly intertwined. The big rationale for business case development is to justify investment decisions. And that's the approach we'll take as we move through this course. What is a business case not? It's not speculative. It's not marketing. It's not advertising. We want to be careful to avoid sales language when we're creating our business case. We want to make sure it's a narrowly defined, tightly argued, compelling presentation of the facts and the evidence and the analysis that justify an investment in a future project. So that's the tack that we want to take when we develop our business case. And of course, at the end, a decision is going to be made. We might get the go decision, or we might get a no-go decision. In my opinion, too many business case developers take the no-go as failure in business case development. I don't feel that way at all. The purpose of a business case is to make the right decision. Let's get the decision right. And if the right decision is no-go, then we've done our job as a business case developer. What are those two kinds of projects? Discretionary and mandatory, and how do they differ? Discretionary projects usually happen because of some kind of a stimulus. Maybe there's a growth opportunity, or maybe we have an opportunity to reduce costs, or a competitive threat needs to be responded to, or maybe we're pursuing some kind of strategic positioning. What's the common theme among them all? They're voluntary, they're discretionary. We don't have to pursue them, but they're an opportunity or a threat that the organization is contemplating responding to. That's a little different than mandatory projects. In that case, it's more about an obligation that we have to meet. We have no choice, we're compelled. It could be a legal requirement, it could be a regulatory compliance issue, or maybe a contractual obligation of some kind. Discretionary projects have business as usual as one option. Right? Initiating a project is the second one. Of course, we need tools to be able to distinguish between those two when it comes to evaluating any project. But when business as usual is not on the table, then it's a mandatory project. Now it's all about, is project A the better decision, or project B, or C, or D? It's more about project ranking rather than determining economic viability. In fact, I boiled it down to two questions we can consider when we're evaluating a project. Question one, is the project economically viable? We need to ask that question for discretionary projects. Question two is the ranking question, is A better than B? We ask it in discretionary projects, and we also ask it when we're looking at mandatory projects. All right, and that's the slight difference between the two that's important to note. In fact, we're going to come back to them throughout the seminar series. Question one, just make a mental note, is the economic viability question. And question two is the project ranking question. We'll come back to them again and again. The business case is often compared to a legal case. I think it's a pretty good comparison. In both cases, a decision has to be made, and it's made by weighing evidence. What makes a good legal case? I mean, there's no one right answer to that. Lawyers don't have a standard template that they can use in each and every legal case they prepare that's going to get them to the point where they have the strongest possible case. There is nothing like a guaranteed 10-step process. It'd be nice if there was. A lawyer does have a lot of freedom. After all, they're the ones that select the evidence. They're the ones that call the witnesses. They're the ones that frame the argument. And of course, they draw conclusions. Business case developers have that exact same freedom. So although there's no sort of paint-by-numbers solution, we do have a lot of creative freedom in putting together the most compelling business case that we can come up with. And if you build a winning business case, you're going to get your business case approved. I said a little while ago that A no-go decision was perfectly legitimate for business case developers, but I'm not under any illusions. I know people watching this movie are preparing a business case for the purpose of getting it approved, and that's exactly what we're going to help you do in this movie series. What are those key success factors? I think they do apply to every business case. Number one, your business case needs to be credible. That is the all-important, all-encompassing element that needs to permeate every single piece of our business case. It applies to you as the author. It applies to your content, your analysis, and your conclusions. Once your credibility gets eroded, your business case really starts to lose its ability to convince and to persuade, and to convey. So credibility goes hand in hand with business case approval. Your business case needs to be understandable, no doubt about that. We need simple business words. We need a story that's got a logical narrative that's easy to follow. If there's a lot of details, don't lead people off into the woods where they get lost amongst the data and can't find their way back to that path. We know the business case needs a lot of technical detail very often. Put it in the appendix if you can. We want your business case to be accurate. Make sure it's timely information's included. Clearly state your assumptions. They support the estimates. People who read business cases know estimates have well-reasoned assumptions that go with them. Make sure they're included. If you need raw data to help you make those good assumptions, put it in the business case, but put it in the back. Your business case does need to be thorough. That means define the scope boundaries, and once you have, include all the relevant information. Include all the relevant alternatives. That has to be in there. This is all about the gaps. The more gaps that we have in our presentation, the more it detracts from the credibility we need to get our business case approved. Include the what-if analysis. Business case readers are naturally wondering, what if the estimates fall a little bit short? What if they're 10 or 20 or 30% less than we as the business case developer have stated that they're going to be? Don't leave your business reader guessing. Put in a sensitivity analysis. Show them what the impact of a 20% or a 30% drop in the estimates would be. That again buttresses and supports the credibility that you need as a business case developer. For you to get your business case approved, let's face it, you're going to have to withstand pretty aggressive cross-examination. You need to expect to be challenged. People won't accept all of what you write at face value. You're going to have to verify and validate. You're going to have to sort of rise to the challenge and, support the premises that you've committed to paper in your business case. One of my favorite analogies for the business case is the building block analogy. We're the ones as business case developers who decide what facts and information and data is going to be presented. And then we apply careful analysis to that data. We come up with some kind of a decision criteria. We look at alternatives and ultimately come up with a recommendation. And if we do it in a compelling way, and most of all, if we are credible and our business case is understandable, and we make sure that it's accurate, right, and it's very thorough, and we cover those 4 bases, we've multiplied our chances of getting our business case approved. On that basis, let's get started.